You know what hit me last Tuesday? I was sitting in a coffee shop, watching people rush by, and I realized something terrifying. Most of us are sleepwalking through life. We're busy, we're tired, we're stressed, but are we actually getting anywhere? I called up 3 of my closest friends that night, smart people, good people, and I asked them one simple question. What do you actually want from life? The silence was deafening. I don't want this dead-end job. I hate living paycheck to paycheck. I just don't want to be stuck like this. Notice something? They all knew what they didn't want, but when I pushed them on what they did want, crickets. And here's the brutal truth. I was exactly the same for years. But then I started studying people who actually made it, not the fake Instagram gurus. I'm talking about real people who built real success. And you know what I found? They don't have magic. They don't have secret connections. What they have are different habits. Today, I'm sharing the 10 habits that completely transformed my life. And if you stick with me until the end, I promise you, your entire perspective will shift. But here's the deal. If this resonates with you, hit that subscribe button right now, because changing your life starts with one small decision. Make this video that decision. Let me tell you about my friend Marcus. Brilliant guy. Works 60 hours a week, complains every single day. I asked him, Marcus, what's your vision? Where are you going? He spent 20 minutes telling me about his terrible boss, his toxic workplace, the economy, the government, everything wrong with his life. So I stopped him. Okay, but what do you want? Blank stare. See, this is where most of us get it wrong. We're so focused on running away from what we hate that we never stop to figure out what we're running toward. Here's what changed everything for me. I stopped looking forward and started looking backward. Think about this with me right now. What year were you happiest? Really think about it. For me, it was 2019. I remember the energy I had, the people around me, the freedom in my schedule. When I analyzed that year, I realized something shocking. I wasn't making the most money that year, but I had time, I had energy, I had purpose. That's when it clicked. My vision wasn't make $1 million. My vision was have the freedom to spend Tuesday afternoon with my family without checking my phone every 5 minutes. See the difference? Your vision needs to be crystal clear, not vague dreams like be successful or be happy. Specific, tangible, real. Pause this video right now. Think of your happiest year. What made it special? That's your compass. That's your vision. I wasted 3 years of my life because of one lie we're all told. Work on your weaknesses. I'm terrible at accounting. Horrible. Numbers make my brain hurt. So what did I do? I spent hours, courses, YouTube tutorials trying to get better at it. You know what happened? After 3 years, I went from absolutely terrible to slightly less terrible. Congratulations to me, right? Meanwhile, I'm naturally good at communicating, at connecting with people, at telling stories, but I barely spent time improving those skills because I was too busy trying to fix what was broken. Then I met Sarah. She runs a multi-million-dollar company. I asked her secret. She laughed. I can't do accounting to save my life, so I pay someone who loves it. Meanwhile, I focus on what I do best, building relationships and creating vision. It hit me like a truck. Moving from bad to decent takes years. Moving from good to exceptional, that takes the same amount of time. But exceptional is what gets you paid. Exceptional is what changes your life. Think about Lionel Messi. Do you think he spends hours trying to improve his basketball skills? No. He doubles down on what makes him the best footballer in the world. Stop wasting energy on your weaknesses. Identify what you're naturally good at. Double down on it. Get so good they can't ignore you. Then what? Hire people or find systems to handle everything else. Last month, I did an experiment. I tracked how much negative content I consumed in one day. News headlines, economic collapse imminent, social media, people arguing about everything, my uncle at dinner, the world is going to hell. By 8 p.m., I felt exhausted, anxious, hopeless. But here's the crazy part. Nothing bad actually happened to me that day. I just absorbed everyone else's negativity like a sponge. Scientists have studied this. Negative headlines get 160% more clicks than positive ones. News companies know this. Social media algorithms know this. They're literally programming your brain to expect the worst. I have another friend. Let's call him David. David wanted to start a business. You know what everyone told him? 99% of businesses fail. The economy is terrible right now. You don't have enough experience. Be realistic. Every single person telling him this, they had never built a successful business. Not one. Here's what I learned. You have to become a filter. Imagine your mind is a nightclub and you're the bouncer. Not everyone gets in. Picture this. You're on a bus. The radio is blasting negative news. People around you are complaining. The driver is angry. You can't get off yet. You need this bus to reach your destination. What do? You put in headphones. You read a book. You focus on where you're going, not the chaos around you. That's how you have to treat negative influences. You can't always remove yourself from negative environments immediately, but you can choose what you let into your mind. If this is making sense, smash that like button. It tells YouTube to share this with more people who need to hear it. 2 weeks ago, my car broke down on the highway. Middle of nowhere. Phone at 2% battery. My first thought was, why does this always happen to me? Why today of all days? Then I caught myself, because here's what I've learned. Why me is the most useless question in the universe. It doesn't fix your car. It doesn't charge your phone. It just makes you feel worse. So I switched the question to, what's the solution right now? Suddenly, my brain started working. I remembered a gas station a mile back. I started walking. I made it. I got help. Same situation, different question, different outcome. I see this everywhere now. At work, someone makes a mistake. Everyone gathers around asking, why did this happen? Whose fault is this? Meanwhile, the one person asking, how do we fix this right now, is the one who becomes invaluable. Any fool can point out a problem. My 5-year-old nephew can do that. Dad, the milk spilled. Great observation, kid. But it takes someone wise, someone valuable, someone successful
to bring a solution. The next time something goes wrong, and trust me, it will, don't waste 1 second asking, "Why me?" Ask, "What now?" Your entire energy shifts. You go from victim to problem solver. And problem solvers, they run the world.
Here's something wild. Most people don't realize they're thinking. I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. Last Thursday, I woke up feeling anxious, heart racing, stressed about the day ahead. I thought it was random, just one of those days, right? Then I started observing my thoughts, and I noticed something. I had been lying in bed, imagining everything that could go wrong in my presentation later that day. My brain was showing me a movie, me forgetting my words, the client looking bored, my boss disappointed. And here's the insane part. None of it was real. It was just thoughts, but my body was reacting like it was actually happening. Your emotions don't come from reality. They come from your thoughts about reality. I have a colleague, Jennifer. She got the exact same feedback from my manager that I did. Same words, same tone, same situation. She went home devastated. He hates my work. I'm going to get fired. I went home energized. He's pushing me to be better. He sees potential in me. Same event, different thoughts, completely different emotions. When you start observing your thoughts like you're watching them from outside yourself, you gain this superpower. You realize, oh, that's just a thought. It's not a fact. I don't have to believe it. Next time you feel stressed or anxious, pause. Ask yourself, what was I just thinking? You'll be shocked how often your emotions are just echoes of your thoughts, not reflections of reality.
Your past is not a prison. It's a laboratory. I used to drag my failures around like weights chained to my ankles. That business that collapsed, that relationship that ended, that opportunity I missed. Every failure was evidence that I wasn't good enough. Then someone told me something that changed my perspective forever. Imagine your house is on fire. You have 60 seconds to get out. What do you grab? Your important documents, family photos, maybe some jewelry. You don't try to save the broken furniture, the trash, the things that don't matter. You grab what's valuable and you run. Your past is that burning house. You can't save everything. You shouldn't try. Take the lessons. Take the growth. Take the wisdom. Leave the shame, the regret, the what-ifs to burn. Every successful person I've studied has massive failures in their past. Steve Jobs got fired from Apple. Walt Disney went bankrupt. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers. The difference? They used their past as research and development. Okay, that didn't work. What did I learn? What do I try next? Your past is data, not destiny. I know someone who dropped out of college. No degree, no connections, started with nothing. He tells this story 2 ways depending on his mood. Version 1, victim story. I didn't have the support. My family couldn't afford to help me. I didn't have the education everyone else had. I was set up to fail. Version 2, empowering story. I dropped out because I knew my path was different. While everyone else was in classrooms, I was in the real world, learning by doing. I built everything from scratch. That gave me a unique perspective no degree could provide. Same facts, same history, completely different story. Here's the secret. Your story becomes your identity, and your identity determines your actions. If your story is, "I'm someone who always gets unlucky," guess what? You'll spot every piece of bad luck and miss every opportunity. If your story is, "I'm someone who turns setbacks into comebacks," you'll find a way forward no matter what. When something goes wrong, don't make excuses. Make a chapter. Yeah, I failed that business, but you know what? That's the chapter where I learned resilience. That's where my real story began. One day I'll tell people about this moment as the turning point. Successful people don't have fewer problems. They have better stories about their problems.
Passion beats intelligence every single time. I've met brilliant people with no passion. They know everything, they have all the answers, but they're not going anywhere because they have no fire. Then I've met people with average intelligence but unstoppable enthusiasm. They're the ones building empires. Because here's the truth. When you're passionate, you'll work when others rest. You'll learn when others give up. You'll push when others quit. But I don't know my passion yet. I hear this all the time. Here's my advice. Stay passionate about what you're doing now until you find your true calling. Be the most enthusiastic person at your current job. Be the most energetic person in your current situation. Because passion is magnetic. When you show up with energy and excitement, opportunities find you. And if you're doing something you absolutely hate, that passion will give you the fuel to build your exit strategy. Passion is your rocket fuel. Intelligence is just the GPS. You need both, but fuel matters more. Here's a question that will expose everything. Who are you learning from? I wanted to build a successful online business, so I asked my friends for advice. You know what? None of them had ever built an online business. Not one. But I still listened to them. It's too saturated. You need a huge following first. It probably won't work. I wasted 2 years listening to people who had never done what I wanted to do. Then I found someone who had actually built what I wanted. I studied everything they did, their interviews, their podcasts, their failures and wins. 6 months later, I had made more progress than the previous 2 years combined. The secret. There is no secret. The blueprint is already out there. Someone has already walked the path you want to walk. Find them, study them, model them. If you want to get fit, don't ask your out-of-shape friend. Find someone who transformed their body. If you want financial freedom, don't ask broke people for money advice. Find people who actually built wealth. This sounds obvious, but most people don't do it. We take advice from whoever's closest, not whoever's most qualified. Stop learning from people who haven't been where you want to go. The final habit, the most important one. Why do you want success? To make money. Okay. Why do you want money? To be comfortable. Why do you want to be comfortable? So I don't have to stress about bills. Why is that important? So I can focus on what matters. Like what? My family, my kids. Why does that matter? Because I want them to have opportunities I didn't have. Why? Because
Because I want to break the cycle. I want them to know that our family is capable of more. I want them to feel proud of where they come from. There it is, 7 levels deep. Your why isn't money. Your why is breaking cycles, creating legacy, making your family proud. That's the fuel that keeps you going when everything falls apart. When I'm exhausted, when I want to quit, I don't think about money or success. I think about my 7-year-old daughter looking at me with pride, saying, "My dad never gave up." That's what gets me out of bed at 5 a.m. That's what keeps me pushing when it's hard. Find your 7 levels deep why. Write it down. Look at it every single day. Because motivation fades, discipline wavers, but a deep emotional why, that's permanent fuel. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. These habits won't change your life overnight. This isn't magic. But if you implement even 3 of these, you'll be ahead of 95% of people. And here's the thing. You watching this video right now is already a choice. You could be scrolling mindlessly, but you're here, learning, growing. That's not an accident. That's a decision. So make another decision right now. Subscribe to this channel. Hit that like button. Because changing your life isn't about one big moment. It's about small decisions that compound over time. This video is one small decision. Make it count. I'll see you in the next one. Now, go build the life you actually want.